I'm John Kaysmark, Executive Director of the Graham Family of Schools. And it is a family with a long-standing tradition. The first Graham School opened in 1939, and in the 70 years since then, we've been dedicated to providing the best educational environment for students with autism and other special needs. The Graham family now includes 4 schools, each with a specific mission and population. This video focuses on New Beginnings, which addresses the needs of students across the autism spectrum. One word you'll hear a lot in this video is eclectic. New Beginnings isn't tied to a singular approach. Our remarkable team reviews the best practices currently being used in the field of autism education and chooses the programs and therapies that shape our students into men and women who are as productive and independent as possible. Here's a look inside the New Beginnings School.
Good morning, Jared.
People, when they do come and visit the school and they get into the school, they say, wow, I didn't realize that this building existed back here. It's beautiful.
Hi.
There's a lot of love that went into the details of designing the building, from the students picking the colors on the walls, and it was a huge collaboration with all of the professionals. So when the building was designed, there was so much love and thought that went into every single detail into this building.
1, 2, 3, I know you get Come on, baby.
When I walked in the door of this school, I felt that it was very typical of a regular public school setting as far as the environment, but they were really able to focus in on what the kids needed specifically for each of them, their own plans.
Rock that's formed from once living thing.
Fossils.
Right, fossils, right.
We never give up on academics, and we want the kids to be lifelong learners and achieve as much of their goals as they can. But we also don't want to forget that there's real world experiences that they're going to be exposed to. We have an apartment to practice those skills in that setting.
Comes out that doesn't matter.
You are good at this, you're right.
Good job, Nick.
Kids really benefit from it, I think. They really enjoy it. And it's a fun class, but it's also very useful for life skills and for their future.
New Beginnings also believes in, the kids have to have fun and they've got to be happy, and we want to expose them to a lot of different things. So doing things like fashion shows and having a basketball team and doing things like School Spirit Month. Every year in the summertime, we have a lot of field trips that we plan with the kids. We go to the lake, we go to the Fairfield pool.
In the summer sessions, we do a lot of field trips that are really fun and enjoyable.
We want to teach our students the appropriate way to act in the community, the appropriate way to interact with people who aren't from New Beginnings.
Primarily, we're known for working with children on the autistic spectrum.
4, there we go.
But we have children with multiple disabilities. We have students that are medically fragile. We have students that have speech and language issues. Our techniques will still work with a variety of students.
We have kids that are high academically but have some social impairments. We also have children that are still learning the mundane tasks of taking care of themselves and learning ADL skills.
So now how do we take the mission and the values and apply it to what we want our students to know when they walk out the door at 21?
Many times we come together as a team, sometimes to just discuss one student, so that all of our ideas can come together to help that student.
We have about 185 students and just about the same amount of staff, so our ratio is almost a 1-to-1. We want to look for those individuals that have a passion for teaching, that look at our children and see their abilities. I want them to be detectives. I want them to be able to go home at night and think about why something may not be working. I want them to be enthusiastic, be energetic. I look for people that just have a genuine love for what they do. And I want people to come in here and see our kids' abilities, not the disability.
I couldn't be any happier. I've been teaching for a year now here. I'm right straight out of college. I came here and I love it. I want to do this for the rest of my life. The students make me happy every day. Every little thing they do is a huge accomplishment for them and for us.
It takes a special kind of person to work here. Not everybody is designed or able or patient enough to work in this kind of environment, and the people who here are able to do that.
You can call them and ask them questions at any time. You can email them. I mean, they make themselves available for whatever problem or question or whatever you may have.
Just knowing like the little differences that you make in kids' lives, just seeing the happiness that it brings some parents to see their children be able to catch a ball or finally be able to skip or keep up with their peers in gym class.
All the way up, Jake, all the way up.
When you get to see skills that you're teaching somebody and the happiness that not only does it bring a child, but a whole family. So it's very rewarding.
1, 2, 3, throw. Nice. Daniel, your turn, love.
I look into their future and I can see that they're going places, that there's something out there for them, and that's what we're here for. We're here to prepare them for the future.
If you were to go into your community and get a job, where would you like to work? Bill, where would you like to work?
Work at Sony PlayStation.
Sony PlayStation. Kaylin?
Drum.
A drum store.
One of our slogans for our high school population is there's a future for everyone. We want to make the kids as independent as possible, and whatever level that our children are at or whatever their ability is, we want to give them as much opportunity as possible.
Spell nuts. Great job, 5.
He could really do just about anything. He may do it later instead of maybe doing something at 7 years old or 10 years old or 12 years old. He may do it in his 20s, but I think that the sky's the limit.
To ask people for their Facebook password.
Being here 8 years, I've done a lot of stuff. So I can remember from the first time I came here when I had a lot of trouble, and now I'm all like 13 and teenager and doing much better. I'm glad. I'm glad I'm getting help and in this school.
Our main motto is independence, and I think that if we can make each child as independent as possible, it's going to help them throughout the rest of their entire life. I think that every child has the ability to be functional members of society and to contribute in some way. That's what our main goal is to get them more independent.
So tell us where you work at.
Petco.
Very nice. And what day do you go to Petco?
Petco Tuesday.
Petco on Tuesday? Okay, we need to make sure that you put a space there. So Petco on Tuesday, very nice.
We have always looked at the children using an eclectic approach for each student. And what really, even though our core philosophy is applied behavioral analysis, we want to bring in other methods of working with our children.
They are an eclectic program. They don't stick with just ABA or just this. They are for the children. If whatever works for that child to make them learn is what they do. And to me, that's phenomenal.
Jake, who makes us laugh? Good job.
Touch cashier. Very good.
Basically because they have different varying needs, we try to individualize their instruction. So in our room we have different cubby areas where they work individually with their personal aides, doing what we call discrete child teaching. And discrete child teaching is basically a one-on-one instruction. And we utilize a whole bunch of techniques, but for this room, because they're nonverbal, they may have some behavioral issues, we work with them individualized, and it seems to work for them.
We want to give our students a new beginning, and we feel that the eclectic approach is the best.
Yesterday was? Yeah, thanks for helping me out.
I've had some of these kids for a couple of years now, and there were some kids that couldn't even write, and now they're writing. I had some kids that didn't even know their letters and their letter sounds, and now they're reading. It's a great feeling that when you go into an IEP meeting and the parent is crying because their child is now able to read.
Show me.
When I took him out of the public school environment, they told me at 3 years old Jeremy was who he was already. He had reached his potential at 3 years old. Within months or weeks of him being here, he had already surpassed what they told me he would ever do. And now he functions very typically like we do, other than his communication is different.
When I attended here, I learned more. I learned a lot faster, I learned a lot better. I have a better understanding of things.
I was horrible. I was like this awful child. And so I got a lot of help. And now I understand myself better.
I get shocked, you know, after school, my older son loves to go on the computer and he'll go on this one education site and I'm sitting there and I'm like, he's doing fraction. I'm like, oh my God. You know, so I get surprised all the time at what they're able to teach the kids here.
This place has given him more of who he is than anybody else ever has, and that is the building block for who he will be when he becomes a man.
A video can only provide a broad overview, but I think you can tell that our teachers, our therapists, and everyone else is totally dedicated to our student population. For more information, visit our website, call us, or come by and visit our schools. We look forward to answering any of your questions. Thanks for joining us.